It's an amazing, incredible session if you need to discover who the F you are and like what your essence is. Not in a weird way. Like, this is legit awesome stuff. You guys should definitely invest in that. Hey guys, so this is a crazy twist to the MoneyBru Show. We're reacting to the actual video. Our audio cut out with the Bluetooth headphone I had in, which is super disappointing. I'm so sorry, guys. However, I'm going to make this worth your while. We're going to capture some of Dave's super in-depth answers. And yeah, let's just jump right into it. Switch the intro.
I ain't here for the money, I ain't here for the fame. Though it might be nice to own a jet plane, I'ma do it all for you. Come along and see it's true, but the world is pretty cold. You might need a sweater.
Dave has over 24 years in business development experience. He's a mortgage banker. He's been a mortgage banker for 16 years. He spent the past 10 developing products in the pet industry. And he has created, branded, and established sales for 2 products that have generated over $16 million in revenue. So that's a lot of revenue. He's even got some testimonials on cat litter products, chapter 1 of God with You at Work and Andy Mason. This is like super awesome stuff. So he's the CEO and the president of North America Sales for Authentic Sales LLC. His pet products sales and marketing company. Dave is all about creating safe places for business people to be vulnerable and real about their struggles and brokering the truths of heaven in exchange for their limiting beliefs and fears. Guys, this is like super awesome. Dave, I know your bio keeps going and you mentioned the kids. How did I do? Did I get it?
Yeah, you nailed it. There's a lot of that's like the highlight reel, and of course, there's a lot of low moments in there too that all of us experience. But definitely, that's the results, and I'm proud of them.
Dude, I'm so proud of like being able to have you on the show. Honestly. Okay, Dave. So this is you reacting to the Nando's. What would you say about it?
Oh, the Nando's. Let's see. That is the peri peri sauce, right? That's this one here.
Yeah.
I loved it. I actually don't normally like hot sauce. When I saw the XX on it, I thought, this is going to be like the Hot Ones show. But actually, this was delightful. It was a nice kind of spice. It was spicy. I liked it.
Yeah, I think you gave it like, I want to say you gave it like a 7 or 8. I can't remember. I'm going to jump into the next question I had for you. So I'm going to do rapid fire. It's going to be really tricky for you, but you can do this. I practiced this on my own. You'll see like, I drop questions and then you go for them. And if you miss something, it's okay.
Great.
Nice. There we go, guys. There's an 8. And that's going to lead us to our rapid fire, and then we'll go into some deeper stuff. So rapid fire Q&A. Here we go. Time to get right into it. So Dave, what's your guilty pleasure, brother? Any favorite treat?
I'm pretty sure that I said ice cream. Ice cream for sure. Ice cream. Yeah, wow. Ice cream.
Yeah.
I can't get enough of it.
And then you say something funny. That's so awesome. Did you ever try Wildworks out here? They have that. Oh, you're talking about the IPAs. You talk about like what IPA
Oh, that's right. I didn't say ice cream. Well, that's one of my other ones. So actually, I was talking about a beer called Widowmaker. It's an IPA. And yes, that is...
Yeah,
I'm currently not doing alcohol at all, so that didn't even come to my mind. That's good.
And I'm on
a break from alcohol, so
yeah, you have to break. Even I because then I mentioned Wildworks and all that stuff. Okay, let's see what's the next.
Yeah, that's right.
I'll actually just run it off through. Yeah. Okay, so okay, our favorite color,
blue.
Favorite restaurants.
Favorite restaurants. I really like a restaurant called The Habit.
Okay, and then activity.
Favorite activity would be body surfing.
That's right.
And lately it's been badminton.
Nice. Yeah, you're
body surfing and badminton.
You're super active. Like I know you like even do triathlons and stuff. It's just crazy. Breakfast or no breakfast?
That's right. No breakfast. I intermittent fast. I don't eat until 11. Although I just made an exception for that by having Marmite.
Oh, I know. I broke
exception
it.
Made.
I feel very special. Favorite like mentor or celebrity type.
Yeah, favorite mentor. I had a mentor named Todd Screama, who basically promised me that I would, when I was in the mortgage business, that he would teach me and mentor me into making more money in less time and having happier clients. And we accomplished that.
That's so cool. And then next big business goal.
Two executive retreats this year, and breaking $1 million top line revenue with my company this year.
I love it. Yeah, you guys can find his link for his retreats in our description. Definitely check those out. He brings some high level coaching stuff, which I've definitely taken advantage of myself. South Africa or Redding, California?
Oh yeah, South Africa. I live in Redding, however, and I've never been to South Africa, although I have friends that have been to South Africa, and you're a friend that I know has been to South Africa and comes from South Africa. So definitely South Africa.
Nice. You're like my only guest who is non-biased with that stuff. So I think we just intro the essence here of, Dave, what is it about the essence and all that stuff, and what how does this relate and work?
Yeah, so there's a talk that Simon Sinek gave on the big why, on centering your business around your why, and it has circles. It has a why circle in the middle, and then it has the what circle and the how circle. And if you imagine like a bullseye, the why was in the middle. And I'd been coaching and realizing that people struggle with the why. They may be able to articulate the why, but they were having trouble living into it. And so I began to get frustrated with that and realized that one of the most powerful ways that you can enhance your why and align yourself with your why is to begin to articulate who you are to yourself. Who are you outside of any role you play? And if you can get clear about that and live into that and do what I call state of being work instead of state of doing work, if you dedicate portions of your day and portions of your week to state of being work, and a lot of business consulting is going this way, where it's imagining who you are, describing to yourself who you are, meditating on who you are, living into who you are, and even defining a metric of, did I live true to myself today, or did I deviate from who I know I really am? And then developed an exercise called the essence exercise. And the essence exercise is a way to connect through words that other people give you that are positive traits about who you are. And we end up coming up with an image, a symbol, a grouping of words that helps you connect to who you are outside of any words. And the best way I can describe essence, if we put 20 pictures of you up on the wall and asked your best friends and your wife and your family to say which one captures Daniel's essence, they would be able to pick out one. And each one might have a different reason. But we have these really subtle things in us that are beyond roles. And when you connect to it, it empowers everything. And when you begin to attach meaning to that, you can attach meaning to your who and meaning to your why. And then your hows and your whats become more supercharged with who you really are.
That is so powerful. And I think I give a clever response.
I'm sure
so let me do that. This is the Biltong Yuck to Yum taste test. Yeah, I always have something to say. So this will be the Biltong reaction, and I'll let you. So yeah, you go for the Biltong. And I think you even mentioned in the segment, your meats have Kangaroo products in them. And then we drop that, if your dogs eat that dog food, they have a Kangaroo, Australian accent.
Yeah. We talked in there about me eating my dog treats, and Kangaroo is one of the leanest, most amino acid filled meats there are. So I have some of the other products you gave me, but I don't actually have that jerky because it's all gone. It's all gone.
A Biltong. I've been making Biltong. I have a maker at my house. So after that segment in the Biltong, I wanted to show you what a real life one looks like before cutting it. And it looks like this. It's a so you hang it with these things that I sanitize, and then I hang them for I think 5 days, and then you cut them open and they're ready to go, and they're super good. What you can see around it is all the spice, and I don't have any clove. Have any clove on this one. So it would be
that's awesome.
Way more interesting.
That's very cool. I love that. That's and that's a South African thing, right?
Yeah. We do this all the time. Cool. It's kind of traditional. Yeah. I mean, I know you I think you liked it quite a bit because you must have finished it fast.
The only thing I didn't like was the clove taste. There was some cloves in there. That I did not.
I remember that now.
Yeah.
This is I think I was talking about. This is a really powerful segment. I think I asked you about what it took. Where did you, like, how did you get to where you're at? The whole journey. And then we stopped halfway about the groups thing, and then we go into the next one.
Yep, that sounds right.
So I'll let you just kind of elaborate on your success story, kind of the journey you went through.
Yeah. So, the mortgage industry, 16 years in the mortgage industry, came to an abrupt end. It took me 2 years to exit, but 2007, 2008, 2009, just a devastating year in terms of outward things. I ended up divorced. I had most of my money invested in real estate, even though I wasn't highly leveraged. It was in California real estate, a little bit in Oregon. I watched my equity disappear because my income pretty much dried up for 2 years. I blew through my reserves, and then I ended up selling most of my properties. I kept my vacation home and my primary residence, and then eventually ended up auctioning both those off. So by the time all the dust settled, my career was done, my marriage was done, and everything that I'd owned was gone. And so I was in a place where I needed to surround myself with people that were praying. I actually now do that all the time. It wasn't at the time I wasn't doing that as much. And from that place of just deep intimacy and prayer and really crying out to God is when things developed with the cat litter, like I've mentioned, on this podcast. The place I was working, even getting to the place I worked was a miracle, because I was going to transition into financial services, probably financial planning of some. And in my prayer time, I followed a hunch from prayer, and I went and met with a walnut farmer who hired me at a low 5-digit salary to sell his byproducts as walnut shells. He was a big walnut farmer. He owned several thousand acres, but I took a direction I never expected, because God said to me, I'm going to provide for you from the ground. So I followed a hunch. From that, the cat litter was birthed out of that. And now, here I am 11 years later. I own my own company, and we sell and distribute and market pet products. So a pretty wild ride. And, I think it's being open, like I said, about product development. It's being open to going with your gut, trusting hunches, following through on them, and that's my definition of faith. Whatever your spiritual beliefs are, wherever you get your sourcing, the way we're wired is we are emotional, gut following creatures, and we can't always trust it, but it's worth entertaining those gut feelings, and I've gotten good at that. I've gotten good at following and understanding who I am, and when that spark and that passion comes, taking action on it. And it's important. We've talked about this before, Daniel, you and I, about how important it is, no matter what you're doing, whether you're doing a 9-to-5 job to pay the bills, and in your spare time you're doing your passion project. It's staying true to who you are and keeping that passion alive. That I call it energy out, energy in, but when you're flowing in that, opportunities just seem to happen, and it's hard to understand how they happen. There's not a formula for it, but hard work and trusting your gut, I think, are two critical pieces to it.
Love it. Okay, this is where we jump into tasting the Aero. It was like a lighter chocolate, and I think what did you think about that one?
I really liked it. I don't normally do sweets in the morning, so I was like, but actually it wasn't. It was pretty mild sweetness. It was creamy. I liked how it, would have loved it like after dinner or something. So it's hard to do it in the morning, but definitely loved it.
Cool. And I want to say you gave it like a 6.
I think I gave it a 6. If I'd had it at nighttime after dinner, it might have been an 8. So apparently my scale is subject to how I feel, and I guess that's how we all are. Some of those scales are depending on the mood and the day and what have you. So it's interesting to go back and revisit this.
Correct. I think I'll let you just talk about something you wanted to.
Yeah, I actually want to talk about you, Daniel, and this is not to put you on the spot, but I actually want to, for your viewers, I want them to understand what a cool, stellar guy you are. My experience with you, I think we maybe met 4 years ago, 5 years ago, something like that. We both, we had spouses that worked together, and then we met through our spouses. And you weren't married to, she was your girlfriend at the time, not your spouse, but now you guys are married. But I just want to commend you for following your passion. I see a ton of just care and love and value for your listeners in this podcast. I was actually a friend of mine who does podcasts and has done them for a while and is struggling to get viewers. And I said that the work that you've done into this, to mix it up, to have like, quick answer stuff, to have tasting, to add humor to it. It's very engaging. It's it's fun to be a guest on your podcast. So I just want to commend you for, and that word hybrid's a significant one. So I just want to say good job, and to the people that are watching, like, let Daniel inspire you to go after your passion project, and just keep refining it. I mean, we've had some technical difficulties on this, but it's not stopping you. And here we are doing it. And I'm all for that. Like,
yeah, I wanted this episode because I knew kind of who you are, and people are going to discover more of that, like when they go down the journey of looking at your website and kind of engaging with some of the things you do. This is like one of the final segments, and we talk about, we actually pull out, we get the website data grind from Manny the Mannequin. So we'll quickly watch that. We won't have to go through the data grind because we've already done it. Maybe at the end, I'm going to ask you, like, hey, do you have any other questions? And then we could do like a cool little closing. So here we are with the data grind. This is Chewy.com. That's the right side. Hey, Dave. Okay, so this is a phenomenal company. What we're going to do is just look at the website. Okay, so if you guys are in products, I want you to look at this very carefully. Usually these websites don't have.
So I think we reveal this.
There's no address,
and then
right,
you kind of say the name of the company.
So keep that in mind. You have an account. So like if you're a marketing or you're the startup company, you want to think very intentionally about, hey, how does our demographic relate and engage? And what is like something that's drawing my attention? This first one is the free shipping.
Going to Chewy.com, and then let me see if
they have a pharmacy available for the pets. I think that's huge added value. So with your products, if you have a product or service, what can you add that's going to like give people an edge on not just buying the product that you have, like the main product? So that's more of like upsells and side sells and things like that. They have gift cards. Down here, if you wanted to learn more, there's the About Us page. I found on non-product websites, people visit the About Us right away because they want to see who you are. On these types of pages, you want to get right into the product. People need to be able to order within a few clicks, like Amazon. If we quickly look at their stats too, this is an amazing company. Look at how much volume they get. They get about 3.2 million searches a month. They also, focus on different interest groups. So like if you want to crack into this market, you still have to focus on media entertainment and news and politics, lifestyle and hobbies. And this is going to be the food category under lifestyles and hobbies. They do some advertising, and all of it's very simple. Look at how it's vet recommended. So they're using social proof, like these vets proof our product. You guys should try it out. So this is just giving you guys a fun idea. If you're a business owner, share this with your marketing team. You can kind of get some insights from them as a company. If we go to their normal, let's quickly go back to their main page. I'm going to go to their competition quickly, and you'll notice very quickly that Chewy.com is right on top of their competition. With big companies like this as well, there's usually a Google search bar right on the side. There's not one for this website, and I can tell you why. There's a lot of people who can be very biased with reviews depending on what platform you're on. If you go onto mine, you'll see I have that, but all my market is very close to me, and they're always leaving me 4.5 to 5-star reviews. Where this is such a big general market, you could get smashed on Google with those reviews. So there's a way to turn those things off. And so let me jump back into this. Look at their market. Their market is insane how much of the market share they have. So their competition is like PetSmart, things like that. Chewy is... Dave, is Chewy different than like a PetSmart? They don't have a physical store, right? That's crazy. I mean, the closest they have are these other ones, but they're not even that close. Like, this is incredible. If an online store can do, what is that? That's probably 50% of what their main store is doing, the PetSmart. That's incredible. Talking about less overhead, you're talking about more margins. So it's definitely interesting. to kind of look at this and understand kind of the demographics of what they're going for. So this is a tool. This is also an affiliate sponsor of ours for the sponsor section. That's the 2-minute data grind. SEM Rush, if you guys want to check it out.
So should I go ahead and do that again? Just do a shameless plugs.
Yeah. Yeah, this is your shameless plug
Great.
time. Your last
Great.
whatever you want to say,
I'll
and just do.
I'll tell you what, I didn't say this when we did it last time, but it just came to mind, and that's kind of how I roll. I'm very raw and very spontaneous. So there's a lot of when it comes to success and money or business or family life, there's a lot of talk about fear and going straight at your fears and overcoming your fears and moving through fear with action. And I'm all for that. I mean, to me, a lot, especially nowadays, a lot of our fears are just illusions. They're being driven by past stories, right? But I'm even more passionate about shame, and shame's different. You don't plow through shame because and there's a I'm really passionate about. So with shame is like Shane would say, "Hey, we had Technics podcast, and that means that you are never going to be good." Like shame always has an identity. Shame says I messed up, or no, like failure says I messed up. Shame says you are a mess up, right? Shame has this really debilitating. It just kind of takes you down. The way that you aim oftentimes is I made a whole video on this. There's 2 ways you do it. It's healthy vulnerability, which means when you're stuck in shame and you feel like you can't crawl out and take action, you feel debilitated, you need to do something called healthy vulnerability, which is where you just share your struggle with somebody. And we have to support each other in that. That's healthy vulnerability. The second part of it is compassion. So you need to share your struggle with someone that's going to have compassion for your struggle, and you need to have compassion for yourself as you're going through the struggle. So it's more of a pause. And if you ever find yourself either really, really angry at the whole world, like you're just like everybody's a bad driver, everybody irritates you, that's a sign that shame's at work. Or if you find yourself just wanting to hide from the world, that's another sign. So, the plug is a lot of the work I do at my executive retreats is around identity and shame. So the plug is come to one of my retreats, look me up, come seek me out for coaching. We have an amazing group of people that are very accomplished, that are not just driven and overcoming fear, but when you overcome shame, you have deeper fulfillment, you have deeper satisfaction. So you get the whole thing. If you just overcome fear, often you end up deeper in shame. But if you can overcome fear and shame, you get the outward growth, you get the prizes that you're hoping to have in life, and you also have a soul that's at peace.
I love that, and I think,
and then also buy dog treats, buy wag dog treats.
Definitely go and do that, guys. What I love is that I've done some vulnerable, in-depth coaching with Dave when I needed it the most, and it's really done so much for getting me out of places like that, where this episode was totally that. I was like, do I give up on this, all that good content that Dave and I had recorded, or do I continue down the journey and try and add value? Do I re-record it? There were so many questions, so many things. And I didn't want to do that because there were some authentic pieces I wanted to keep in the show that I couldn't re-record, or that I felt that I couldn't re-record. So I stuck to my conviction, and I had to find people to align and help me around me, like Bike Shop Agency, to make the production actually happen. So once again, another thank you to them. Bike Shop Agency, you can find them bikeshop.agency. Go to their website. Phil Fender and Peter Romero, these guys are amazing. They do some crazy video productions. These are going to be video productions that you would never be able to accomplish on your own. Sometimes we think we can live stream and we can do all this fun stuff, but they can really do that stuff. So check both of those out. Make sure to go check our short segment. We do a segment where Dave talks about his product company and how he kind of grew that and scaled that, as well as it's kind of a double reaction as well, like this video. Okay, that was my closing. But Dave, I have one more thing I have to ask you. We did the Ubuntu section where I said the slang word and then you translated it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So Ubuntu, how would you say that in English?
That would be, gosh, I had a really clever answer last time. That is just somebody that is always smiling and full of abundance in their soul. That's an Ubuntu.
That is so good, actually. Ubuntu means community and integrated community in African, and actually in Swati, I think Zulu. But what's beautiful is that word means so much, right? Like it's such a, Ubuntu can also mean like the circle tribe, right? We have a community of circle, like a circle community, and we look out for each other within that circle. So then I follow up that question with what is that principle? Do you use that principle in your life? Where have you seen that? What do you want viewers to take away from that?
Yeah, well, again, I'll go back to vulnerability, which is part of how you overcome shame is vulnerability, healthy vulnerability.
Oh yeah.
And so when I would say, you build connection, it's really great when all your friends are having a good time or you're succeeding in business. But when you get to a place in business where you're having conflict, where somebody's struggling, where somebody might be doing less than their best, to try to go and encourage healthy vulnerability so that they can actually feel safe to share what their real struggle is. And then when you do that, you end up developing a bond. A lot of my biggest successes in business were born out of places where either I or the partner I was partnering with failed. And when we navigated it in a way where there was compassion and healthy vulnerability, we ended up forming a bond that allowed us to succeed at a far greater level. So yeah, that's my thought on that.
Okay, now before we carry on that video, I wanted to talk to you guys about, we used to be able to invest in stocks and bonds and be okay, but bonds are changing completely, so you have to adapt. And so what do? I used to follow this strategy with Ray Dalio, which is super awesome, but 40% of it is in bonds. So how do you save your money in this day and age? My thought is to start looking at putting 5 to 10% of your capital into crypto, potentially for savings. Now there is risks, so do your own research. Next, the company that I use is, like I said, Coinbase to buy, but to invest, there's this new thing where you can stake cryptocurrencies. This website called Celsius makes it super easy because they have different percentages for every coin that you stake. What they do is they lend those coins out and then you get interest on it, or you could lend money from them. I trust this company for 2 reasons. Alex Mazinski, the owner of the company, he's been around for a long time, started voice over internet protocol, he started multiple companies. So he's in the top 3, I think top 4 crypto companies. If you want to learn more, go look at the realvision.com. It's got videos about him, who he is, and Celsius is a mobile app. If you sign up and you add, I think it's $200 to your account, you will get $30 or $40 in DAI. DAI is a stable coin, which means it's backed by the US dollar. And you can always change that coin if you don't like it once you've put the money in. That's extra $30, $40 in your account. That's it for today. Thank you for watching this. Thanks for staying tuned. And the code and link is in the description below. Have fun and have fun investing. Be safe and do your own research. Thanks, guys. Bye.
I had one other question, but I have to probably let you go. It was the counterculture and integrating that into your own company. Do you have a minute to answer that one in a minute?
Yeah, I do. I'm just waiting for a call to come in, and it hasn't come in yet. So actually,
okay.
I'll just take a minute to answer this, and then I'll call this person. They just said that they're ready. So, countercultural is if you want to be countercultural or disruptive is a common word that's used. You need to be disruptive with your own culture. You need to be vulnerable. You need to be willing to face the hard things in you. Oftentimes, we're passionate about being disruptive. But in order to really align with that, you've got to get real with yourself about how you're still contributing to a culture that's part of a problem. You have to confront yourself, and then from that confrontation, you can then approach people that are struggling the same way or contributing to something that's out of alignment. I would say that.
Cool.
It's that
Thanks,
whole idea.
Dave. Appreciate you, man.
You're welcome. Appreciate you too. Thanks, Daniel. Speak soon.
You're saying if you point the gun? Okay.
Oh, if you're pointing your finger at people, you've got one finger pointing out at people, but you've got 4 fingers pointing back at you.
Nice. Okay, cool. Have a good phone call.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
Thank you.
I ain't here for the money, I ain't